Look, just think about it for a minute. Almost everybody spends most of their life living in a totalitarian system. It's called having a job. When you have a job, you're under total control of the masters of the enterprise. They determine what you wear, when you go to the bathroom, what you do. The very idea of a wage contract is selling yourself into servitude.
But they can't legally murder you or imprison you.
They can't legally murder you, but they can control everything that you do.
Well, again, the right argument would be, well, you're free to leave at any time.
Yes, you're free to starve. That's exactly right. You have a choice between starving or selling yourself to a tyranny.
Let's get one thing straight. The happiness and freedom that you seek is within you, but it is up to you to allow yourself to receive it. I'm going to say that one more time. The happiness and freedom you seek is within you, but it is up to you to allow yourself to receive it. So no, this is not a fuck 9-to-5 jobs. This is not a, oh, if you're not making money online, you're a brokey, you're a slave type of video. But the truth of the matter is that if you're not able to stop showing up for work for your survival, and you have no skills to open other doors for yourself if you so choose to leave, then fundamentally, you are a slave. A slave is a person who is forced to work or obey another and is considered to be their property. And if you're economically dependent on a specific entity or a narrowly defined skill set for your survival, then you're a slave. Now, does that mean that you can't be happy or fulfilled? Well, no. See, as I just said, happiness, freedom, these are conditions of the mind. But you can't possibly understand the truth of that statement if you're tied to wage slavery, which causes you to fail to see all of the abundance and wealth that's already in your life. So in this video, I wanted to share with you a few key principles that I've learned on my journey thus far to truly live as a free man, which to me means to live as a practical philosopher with a high income, future-proof skill set that will allow you to earn in proportion to the value that you provide, rather than as a function of your time. Ultimately, escaping wage slavery. If you're new here, my name is Mikey, and I like to make videos that help you and me live a good life. To me, that means entrepreneurship in the digital age. It also means building superhuman health through performance optimization and building a perception of reality that serves you and works for you rather than against you. Because I believe that it is through this process of mental alchemy, through the process of self-actualization, that you can then love others, serve others, give your fullest gift to the world, which I believe is our highest calling. So if you're into very high-level personal development and you're quite serious about building a beautiful life, then I hope this video serves you and I hope you consider subscribing. But without further ado, let's get into the video. The truth of the matter is this: 62% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. 49% of Americans have no savings. 2 out of 3 Canadians are in debt, and I'd imagine that number is similar in other Western countries. We have an epidemic of depression, with people seeming more lost, directionless, and without a deep-rooted connection to nature, spirituality, or any other large system of beliefs and values that can ground them. So I want you to understand that when I'm talking about modern slavery, when I use this term, I'm talking about a much broader topic that's simply wage slavery. It is much deeper than that. The reality is that since birth, we are sold this dream of the planet. We are sold this dream of how everything is supposed to work and what our role is in this society, in this dream. Day by day, year by year, at home, at school, at your religious institution, in the television, in the media, we are forced to accept beliefs and norms which don't serve us, but rather enslave us and take away our freedom. We are domesticated. Truth is, this has been happening for centuries. None of this is new. Even the wealthiest slave master could have been a slave to this dream of the planet. and not truly have been a free man. And if you want to bring it into modern society for an example that you'll understand easier, think about all of the high-level athletes and actors and high-profile people, entrepreneurs, politicians, who seemingly have everything, right? Money, power, respect, but ultimately they end up killing themselves. Or they fall into a drug abuse problem, or an alcohol problem, or they cheat on their spouse. Think about how often we see that. Why is that? So the true answer to freedom, the true answer to escape this modern slavery, is not what you think. It's not making more money, or quitting your 9-to-5 job, or gaining more social status by buying more clothes or watches, or attracting higher quality women, or whatever. The true answer to freedom is the same as it's always been. It's philosophy. And I'm talking about true philosophy, which is practical philosophy. I am talking about establishing a set of values, principles, and beliefs, deep-rooted beliefs that you hold, that you then go and live in the world by those values and principles in order to live, create, experience, love, play, live truly a full life, but always grounded by these principles, by these values. That is the answer to freedom, and that is completely within your control already. The real problem is that now, in the modern world, due to the structure of the education systems and the economic systems, which turn 90% of people into wage slaves, it's become a lot harder to live as a creative. It's become a lot harder to pursue philosophy, to pursue deep internal work, personal development, to pursue wealth from all definitions, financial, relational, intellectual, spiritual, physical, and so on. After all, the modern education system is literally built and modeled after the Prussian education system, which was meant to generate obedient factory workers and laborers who would know just enough in order to keep the economic machine running, but not enough to think critically, to think for themselves, to create, to question anything. Education should aim at destroying free will, so that after pupils are thus schooled, they will be incapable throughout the rest of their lives of thinking or acting otherwise than as their schoolmasters would have wished. I mean, how scary is that quote? That quote is from one of the founding fathers of the Prussian education system, which is still in practice today in all Western countries and in other parts of the world. So again, does all of this mean that you can't be happy if you work a 9-to-5 job because you're a slave to the system? No. Okay, and I really want you to understand this. I really want you to get this through your head. Because the answer is also not as simple as just become an entrepreneur and start a business. It's really not as simple as that. You can just as easily be enslaved to a business. I mean, is the entrepreneur who works 12-hour days, 7 days a week, always putting out fires and fixing problems in his business, is that a free man? I mean, think about it. It's 10 a.m. on a Saturday or Sunday morning and you get a call. Oh, we have a problem with the marketing materials. We have a problem with this proposal. Can you get on a call in an hour to fix it? It's Friday at 4 p.m. You're about to go meet your girlfriend's family for the first time and you get a call from the manufacturer. Hey, we had trouble at the warehouse. We misplaced your items and now there's going to be a delay on the shipment. And now your customers are unhappy. Now you're stressed. This is what entrepreneurship is like. It's non-stop. It's constant. Always new problems, always putting out fires. Most people, when they quit their 9-to-5 job and begin to work for themselves, become an entrepreneur, a 40-hour work week turns into an 80-hour work week. They go from working 5, 6, 7, 8-hour days into working 12, 16-hour days. This is the truth of entrepreneurship. So again, the answer is not as simple as entrepreneurship, start a business. Is that a free man? Maybe, but maybe not. And if you're watching this kind of content on YouTube, you know that we love to romanticize this idea of entrepreneurship, of being a business owner. People will show you the fancy cars and the expensive dinners, the watches, the properties, the cool events and networking that they get to go to every once in a while. But the truth is, that is the 1% of their time that was built off the back of the 99% of time that was spent locked inside of a bedroom for 5 to 10 years, saying no to parties, to social gatherings, to family, eating the same foods at the same time, wearing the same clothes, doing the same 5 to 6 tasks repetitively every single day for years, taking out loans, being stressed. That's what entrepreneurship is like. Now, for some people, entrepreneurship is a beautiful path because they realize that it can be a vehicle for personal development, for self-actualization, right? They can learn to find meaning in that kind of suffering, as Viktor Frankl would say. But for others, that life that I just described sounds like absolute hell, and that sounds like slavery, even if they supposedly have time, location, and financial freedom. So what I want you to gather from this video, like I do in all of my other videos, is I want to do this as a true in-depth discussion of wage slavery, because it's not as simple as entrepreneurship, just start this business model, or ooh, here's some passive income streams. And I want to give you an example to illustrate what I'm saying. I used to have a personal training client. He was a construction worker from Slovakia. He's this mountain of a man, like a 6'3", 200-pound Slovakian guy with the accent and everything. And I trained with him for a while, and we would always have really nice, long conversations about politics, about philosophy, about religion. He would tell me about his trips with his girlfriend to Bali or to skiing, all these kind of different things that he would do. He's a very smart, humble, down-to-earth person. And the reason I'm telling you about this construction worker is because by definition of these 18-year-old business gurus and these other people on the internet, this guy's a brokey, right? He's a slave to the system. Oh, he works a 9-to-5 job. He's a slave. But I spent hours talking to him. And I can tell you with confidence that that is a free man. He was happy. He loved his work. He loved his girlfriend. He was able to have time to live the experiences that he wanted to live. He had a guiding set of values and principles that he lived by. He was grounded. He was far more free than any of these business gurus and wannabe entrepreneurs on the internet who are telling you that, oh, if you work a 9-to-5, you're a brokey. If you work a normal job, you need to escape. But the only reason they got into entrepreneurship is because they're living out of fear-based beliefs. Because they're scared of being a brokey. Because some 20-something-year-old on the internet, on a podcast, told them that in order to get a high-quality woman, they need to become a high-value man and earn a lot of money. And now they're living this narrative of, oh, escape the matrix. They're not free. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care what kind of car you drive, what kind of house you live in. Freedom is a state of mind. Happiness, freedom, abundance, wealth, all of the things you seek are already within you if you allow yourself to receive them. That is why I keep stressing that practical philosophy is the starting point. And to those of you that are following and understand what I'm saying, you know that this is the truth. Now, I know you didn't click on this video expecting some philosophy stuff. Or maybe you did if you're already a fan of the channel and you know I like to go deep on stuff. But the reason I mentioned that this is the first step, that practical philosophy is the first step to escaping modern slavery, to escaping wage slavery, is because if you're a person like me that actually wants to build something of magnitude, that wants to live as an entrepreneur and is willing to put in the 5 to 10 years of relentless work to do something special, then this is the first step. You need to live as a practical philosopher. You need to act with a sense of peace, a sense of harmony. Give yourself permission to experience the freedom, wealth, and abundance that's already in your life. That needs to be the starting point. Because only from there, once you've freed your mind from these fear-based beliefs, this dream of the planet, only then can you begin to act from a place of peace. Only then can you calmly select the direction that you want to head in and act authentically. Live authentically. Truly honor your gift. So once you get that, Now we can move on to the second phase of this video, which is the actual practical steps to begin escaping wage slavery. Okay, so by now you understand that freedom is a state of mind. And if you allow yourself to begin living a beautiful life and take control of your mind, you don't have to wait for anything. You don't have to quit a 9-to-5 job. You don't have to start a business. You don't have to do anything. You can literally just begin to live as a free person. Okay, cool. But if you are adamant on escaping wage slavery, if you are adamant on living life as an entrepreneur, as a creative, building something that leaves a legacy, an impact, if you don't want a regular job, if you want to have full creative freedom to work on the projects you want to work on, with the people that you want to work with, and to work wherever you want, whenever you want, and to have an earning potential that is not tied to your time, but rather to the value that you provide, then you need to get this through your skull first. There is no easy path. None. There is no single secret, no single book, no single online course, webinar. There is no one thing that is going to allow you to escape wage slavery. Okay? And realize I'm very aware that I'm saying this at my own detriment, right? I am here on the internet providing valuable content, actively creating courses that I'm going to sell you, and I hope it will help a certain percentage of my audience. But still, even that, it's not going to change your life. Nothing will. There is no one thing. These things will help, and there might be some that are better than others and will be a catalyst for growth, but escaping wage slavery, earning this kind of autonomy and creative freedom that I just described earlier, it's going to take years, maybe decades. It's going to take thousands of iterations, failures, obstacles, problem solves, skills to be built. There is no other way. Naval has this great saying where he says, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. If you think that you're gonna escape the rat race and, escape wage slavery by following some quick crypto thing here, some NFT there, some dropshipping thing over here, new AI agency trend over here, you're not only severely mistaken, but it also tells me that you don't truly appreciate the value of escaping wage slavery. You don't truly appreciate it. You don't get it. Because if you did understand the value of it, if you did understand the freedom that it would give you to not have to worry about bills, to be able to take care of the people that you love, to have the time and energy to pour into the creative projects that you want to work on, the freedom to be able to take a 3-month-long sabbatical and just do deep internal work, to meditate, to journal, just to read. If you truly understood the value of that, then you would not be chasing all of these random shiny objects. You would sit down with a pen and paper and truly define your life's purpose, a mission, and you would be willing to put in 5, 10, 20 years of your life into seeing this vision come true. And you'd be present, loving, and enjoying every single step of that journey. The mere fact that you're out here pursuing all these little things and tactics and strategies and trying all these different things tells me that you don't really understand the value of it. If you think that you can get something high quality and good and valuable fast, then either you're delusional or you don't really value that thing. So before I tell you what I think is an approach to the world, the best strategy to navigate this, which I will do in the last section of this video, I want you to understand that it's going to take time. And that's okay. This is a beautiful thing that you're trying to do. And it's very well worth it. But it will take time. enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. Because the only true way to escape wage slavery, to win for an extended, sustainable period of time, is to live authentically. It's to be you. It's to truly discover your own unique gift and play to your strengths, to be authentic. Because when you do that, no matter how long it takes, you will succeed. That is the natural order of things. So here's the escape plan, and it boils down to a 3-step process. Learn, create, and synthesize. Now, I made another video on this. It's my most popular video on the channel thus far, so you can check that out, because I think I give a decent explanation of this there. And I'll also be releasing an hour-long webinar and masterclass that I'll be doing for Hamza's community, so look out for that video next week, because that might be really insightful as well. But at a high level, what do I mean? What is synthesizing? What is this 3-step framework? First, I want you to understand that what I'm talking about here is not a specific business model, but rather an approach towards the opportunities in the digital society we live in, and an approach towards reality as a whole. And this 3-step process of learning, creating, and synthesizing is something that has been around for centuries. Philosophers, authors, artists, businessmen. The only difference is that now, by applying this 3-step framework, this process, with the tools of the digital world that we live in, and the 2 modern levers of wealth creation, which is content and code, you can apply this process and truly escape wage slavery, but also build a beautiful life with meaningful work, with creative freedom, the ability to express your own unique gift and connect with millions across the globe. So how does this work at a high level? The first step is to learn. You have to go out into the world and devour information, consciously curating the inputs that you feed into your mind. And I'm not just talking about, oh, I read 1,000 articles, or I read a book per week this year, or I watched 300,000 YouTube videos on self-improvement and business. That doesn't matter. The quantity is like, you need to actually learn, actively taking notes, highlighting stuff, wrestling with concepts and ideas, philosophizing, really trying to understand, pursuing your genuine curiosities, trying to learn, like really learn, explore the things that you want to learn about, pursue your genuine curiosities, honor your gift, honor yourself. And another thing that I can't stress enough is something that I've made another video about, is mastering the art of conscious curation. Truly guarding your inputs, consciously curating the information that you feed into your mind. I mean, we live in an age where we have instant access, one click away access to the greatest ideas, content, philosophies in the history of mankind. But most people consume the stuff that was made in the last 24 hours, the last 10 years. I'm literally saying this at my own detriment. You're here taking life advice from a 20-something-year-old when you could be reading Plato, Socrates, Ray Dalio, Larry Fink, Sam Altman, Tolstoy. There's tens and thousands of hours of research articles, lectures on coding, on psychology. Whatever it is that you wish to learn about, it is out there. You can buy textbooks for free. But no, you're going to click another 10-minute YouTube video on this is how you make passive income in 2024. How to become a high-value man in 2024. You watch. There's going to be like fucking 50,000 of those videos in your feed within the next couple of weeks. Consciously curate the information that you're feeding into your mind. It is your instrument to navigate this world. You have to take care of it. But after you do that first step, learning, the second step is to create. And this goes hand in hand with the first step. You have to actively be building something, creating something, testing things, making iterations, starting to fail, building the prototypes. Because that is how wisdom is born. Having knowledge, having theory, having learned all of these concepts, it's all great, but unless you take action, unless you're constantly building, failing, then you won't learn anything. The literal definition of wisdom is knowledge in action. It is the ability to apply knowledge, to apply this theory, to apply all these things you've learned in a practical, effective way. And you can only do that through experience. After you learn and you apply that knowledge, when you begin to create, to build stuff, to go out and live life, experience some life, get your head out of the internet for 5 seconds, stop reading all these books and watching articles, like go live some life, take action. When you do that, you'll develop specialized knowledge. And from there, you can take that specialized knowledge and provide value to others, which is where we get into step number 3, synthesize. Synthesizing is simply taking your unique combination of skills, your gift, all of these things you've learned, these experiences, the specialized knowledge, and packaging it in a way that serves others. But it is packaging it in a strategic way. Not by selling your time for money, not by taking the traditional path, but by leveraging the two modern levers of wealth creation, content and code. Right? The beauty of these two things is that they're permissionless. You build a piece of content once. You build a course or an ebook, or you build a YouTube video or a podcast, an article, a tweet, and it lives on forever. That idea, that value is captured and it lives on forever. It is constantly working for you. It's a one-time input for an infinite output. And the same goes for code. You might spend a year, 2 years building this massive project, building a software, building a tech startup, whatever it may be. Sure, it's extremely difficult, but it is built once and it is infinite output. Okay? So, yes, I am saying that everyone should be creating content. I mean, what is content? Content is literally structured information. That's all it is. So whether you think of it about it that way or not, we all produce content. We're all content creators. We're all doing this unconsciously. We're all learning things, experiencing life, and then sharing the things that we know with our peers, at school, in our work. We're sharing our content in conversations with people. The only difference is that a synthesizer, a person that realizes this model, simply decides to put their valuable content on the internet, on a place where they can have massive leverage and then open opportunities, open doors for themselves. This is going to be really funny, but it'll make sense. What is the difference between me and that random crackhead on the subway that is like yelling some crazy stuff about, oh, Trudeau this, the conspiracy this, blah, 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 blah. He's philosophizing and he's preaching to the people on the subway. You see this, right? I see this pretty much every day. The funny thing is, when you look at a lot of these people that seem like drug addicts or the crazies on the bus, sometimes they seem kind of smart. Have you noticed that? Like, how I can't tell you the amount of times that I've noticed these people and they're reading a book on Nietzsche or a book on Darwinism or some other book on like politics or philosophy. But obviously, drugs and life choices aside, their mistake is that the platform they've chosen is the people on the subway. Meanwhile, me, I've learned, taken my experiences, and I'm putting it on the internet, therefore able to reach tens and thousands of people. So it's a silly example, but hopefully that illustrates that we're all doing this. The only thing that you're doing by putting yourself online, putting yourself on the internet, is you're building this digital character. The digital character which will then go and interact with the digital society that we live in. Look around you. Employers hire based on social media. Businesses acquire clients based on social media. Networking, relationships, digital tribes, all of this stuff is built on social media. Content creators and entrepreneurs, they're building audiences, creating products and selling it, marketing them on social media. There was a study that came out in 2017 by Dell Technologies. They said that 85% of the jobs that will exist in 2030 do not currently exist right now. 85%. There was another study by Goldman Sachs which basically said that the creator economy, I think it's expected to grow from 480 billion to 960 billion by 2027. It's expected to double by 2027. Social media is not just where you check in on your grandma and your friends. Content creation is not just for influencing and TikTok dancing or cheap entertainment. If you believe that, then you are grossly mistaken and you will get left behind. Everyone needs to start creating content. Everyone needs to start synthesizing. Even if you don't want to be a creator and sell courses or do consulting or sell digital products. Because by synthesizing, you are building your digital character in this digital society and you're opening an innumerable amount of opportunities. Trust me, the amount of serendipity and coincidences and opportunities and relationships, clients, friendships, the amount of doors that will be open for you by simply following this 3-step framework will be completely life-changing. And with enough effort over an extended period of time, with a clear, defined life's purpose, a mission that honors your own unique gift, that allows you to live authentically, that's how you escape wage slavery. By leveraging the tools of this day and age and following this framework that the great minds of the past centuries have followed. I hope this video served you. And I hope you consider subscribing. I'll see you next week. Look out for that synthesizer masterclass. I hope it serves you. Peace.